Hello. Um, because it's 4:30, we'll probably just give like a minute or two for like people to come in, and then anyone else that just comes in, they'll just come in. Okay. Give it like one more minute. I can't see any of you guys right now. But if you're here, thank you for coming. I know it's a random Monday and it's 4:30. A lot of you are probably college students and had classes today, so thank you for coming. And then for anybody else that wasn't able to attend, this is recorded, so we'll share this info session after. And yeah, let's go ahead and start. So, you guys are here because you saw the flyer, and our name is Black Mind. We are a nonprofit organization, student run, and we're dedicated to discussing issues that are integral to the self determination of our Black community. We seek not only to educate and learn, but also to implement the realizations thought up by the Black mind and experience into real life advocacy projects. We are based in the New York area, and that's because I grew up in New York, Temple grew up in New York, and we understand this area the best. But that doesn't mean that in the future, depending on the trajectory of this organization, that we don't pursue work in other regions of the United States. Um, at Black Mind, we just believe the mantra: if there's a will, there's a way. And our will is to just inspire people to join the movement for Black liberation, for the self-determination that we need to not accomplish, to fight against the oppression that keeps us down. And to do that, we're contributing to the movement. We're trying to remodel the narrative for what advocacy for Black lives looks like. And hopefully through this whole presentation, you'll start to like understand where we're coming from with that. Okay. So who are we? I'm gonna go first. My name is Avery Williams. I'm from Westchester, New York. As I said, I'm from New York. Born in some upstate town. I'm not gonna name it, but my hometown, like where I was raised, is Westchester. I'm a junior at Cornell, my third year. I'm a chemistry major in arts and sciences, currently pre-med. So I'm just in that STEM world. And my main involvements are I'm a part of Malik Fraternity Incorporated, a African fraternity on campus, but we work in conjunction with the Greek fraternities here. I'm the president currently. I'm in the e-board for Cornell Students for Black Lives, and that was born in 2020, and during like the high racial climate of the summer when Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd were killed by the hands of just racism, honestly. And then, so I'm in the e-board for Cornell Students for Black Lives. I'm a chemistry 27 ETA. That's just general chemistry one for freshmen here at Cornell. And I also work associate at Cornell. And then Temple will describe what he does, and then we'll make the connection.
Yeah, so my name is Temple Anyasi. I'm a co-founder along with Avery. I'm currently a junior, studying econ and statistics. I'm also getting a minor in urban and regional studies in AAP at Cornell. My hometown, I'm from Brooklyn. Uh, you probably see that reflected in a lot of projects we do. A lot of them are based in the city, based in Brooklyn. Issues that we feel are very integral to like the success of our communities and our neighborhoods. My main involvements on campus, I'm currently co-president of the Roosevelt Institute, which is the only student-run policy think tank on campus. So we basically write policy analysis and publish our journal yearly. So I'm president of that since last semester to the semester. I'm also involved in SOSA at Cornell, which is how I know Avery. We both met after discussing all the projects that SOSA was doing, which is basically where we're trying to instill Black history into public schools. It's basically like further the education of Black history to students, so that their history reflects like their own culture and their own community. Yeah, so that's how we met actually, and from there we started talking and discussing and really highlighting some of the key issues we see in the community around us, and started to like think about how we can create something that's a vehicle for change that actually can mobilize people and organize people in a way where if you want to contribute your time, you have somewhere to go to do it. And you have somewhere where you know to make a difference what you're actually doing. So yeah, just a little bit about both of us.
Exactly. Yeah. So why Black Mind? Like, why us? Why did two college students decide to create a nonprofit? Um, well, when through Temple and I's conversations, from the time we met until like now, one thing that like we keep thinking about is like activism and like what is great about it, and then where we can contribute to make it better. Um, so activism doesn't only require momentum, but it requires sustained momentum. The fight for Black liberation, again, requires momentum, especially as current events trap us in a never-ending cycle of Black trauma. If you just look at your social media, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like a lot of activism today is just trapped in this sense of hopelessness and negativity because all we see is Black bodies pretty much just dropping, and it's sad, but we need to we need to be able to continue like a sustained momentum where we see the wrongs, we see the oppression in our face, and then we move forward. We need to be solution minded as well, and that's where Black Mind comes in. Always giving solutions and making sure that anyone who cares about activism, cares about change, whether they want to be a part of it directly or indirectly, they know exactly what's going on. So we have created a centralized and accessible beacon of hope, ideas, and action. Um, like we hope that Black Mind is that place for that. And we understand the sustained momentum is for the movement is necessary for our success. Every time the momentum dies, we get either set back or we stay in place. So we wanted to create an organized ecosystem where the momentum to make change is just pushing forward long term. So that's pretty much what we're doing. And that's what we designed Black Mind to do. The structure. Okay. So the framework of Black Mind may seem complicated at first, but once you make the connections, it's really not that complicated. There was supposed to be a photo there for projects, but just imagine there's a photo there of, let's say, people protesting, advocates. So we're divided up into 4 sectors: administration, one, and that's we're gonna elaborate on that more. But just think like e-board, people who are overseeing just the whole operation of Black Mind, content creation, and that's where we kind of get a little bit on the more creative, fun, different side. And then we'll elaborate on that. Projects, as we said, and those are just going to be geared towards actual projects that like fight Black oppression, systemic racism, and also help to improve Black lives. And then research, which could be self-explanatory, but we're going to elaborate on that more as well. Okay. Oh, here's our photo. You see right there a young man, probably at one of the protests last summer, with a sign saying "I run with Ahmaud." As that was like definitely a protest geared towards fighting against, just advocating for like the people who were responsible for Ahmaud Arbery's death, to be held responsible. And that's the kind of energy that we want in our projects. But again, I'll elaborate on this more, and how all of these sectors will like help each other as well. So administration. So again, these are the people who are kind of overseeing the whole operation, the quote unquote leaders, but really our main job is just to make sure that, excuse me, making sure that like we are an organized system that is not going to be vulnerable. And just by doing that, it's just completely managerial, and also just making sure that all the sectors of Black Mind, like the content, the projects, the research, they're all moving forward cohesively. So that consists of a student-run e-board. For example, like Temple and I are the co-founders for Black Mind, so we would have seats in the e-board, but then there will also be a professional advisory board, which are obviously more experienced, more seasoned individuals that already have jobs or expertise, just per se, that is not only relevant to Black minds and our ideals, but it gives us a new perspective that we may not have because of our age and our setting as young people. And again, the e-board consists of founders and then the officers of each sector. And think about the officers as just like the main head people for each sector. And then the professional advisory board, again, consists of professional adults that propel the vision of ideology of Black Mind, using their knowledge, perspective, and of course, the professional / social network that we can utilize for everything to just push us forward. I hope I didn't say too many words there, but let's move on. Content creation. So elaborating on this, we hope that the content creation sector leverages social media to spark attention for the movement of Black liberation, while also educating about the complexities of systemic racism. So in simpler terms, we want the content creation sector to be a means to draw people in to our cause, because that's what we want. Justice is loud, it's never silent. And we want to make sure that we're creating content that is not only pushing activism into the mainstream, but it also is creating a practice of activism that any person could be engaged in as long as they're passionate and they have the skill sets necessary. And we included these photos down here of just classics, and they serve different purposes. Obviously, Roots was a depiction in the 20th century. It was a depiction of slavery, and it became a classic because of just its creative but also narrative means of showing slavery and the journey of like a West African to the United States forcibly. Judas and the Black Messiah is more recent, released still during the COVID-19 pandemic, basically depicting a sector of the Black Panther Party. And then on a more, let's say, fun note, but also still giving us a new perspective and pushing our movement, the Black Panther movie, and Black Panther depicted by the late Chadwick Boseman. So even though this was a superhero movie, it was giving us a perspective of not only African culture, but it was showing for the first time representation of like a strong protagonist in Black skin, and things like that are important. So that's why we depicted that. And then Queen and Slim, depicting not only the struggles of like Black people dealing with police, but also showing the strength of Black love. So through all of our content creation, we're just hoping to push forward representation for Black people. But then also on top of that, we hope that our content creation can include documentary type foci, like documentary of like us, like Black Mind, actually doing work with projects, so we can create that bridge between, let's say, not a normal person, but just a normal person that like cares about activism, and the actual work that's being done for the activism, building that bridge also. And that's pretty much what the content creation is doing. Upcoming media that is serving that purpose. Well, we have an introduction video that explains how Black Mind will operate as a nonprofit organization. And again, just any content creation we have is just pushing forward our cause, our ideology. And then we also have a Black Mind launch video. So we want to create a creative video / short film piece depicting the inspiration behind our organization and why its existence is critical for the advancement of the Black liberation movement. And that's going to be like just our main, like, that's going to be us coming up on the scene, that video. So yeah, that's our upcoming media. And that's why we are asking for Black creatives, because Black creatives would definitely contribute to this. So how are we doing all of this? Well, first of all, like, we're a nonprofit, so obviously we're gonna need donations from people who care about our cause, people like you that are watching. And then we also hope that as we grow, some of our creators will be able to earn income through their art, videos, and potentially merchandise. So we're definitely leaving ourselves, we're giving ourselves space for like future growth where we can find multiple ways to generate income. But obviously for us to start off, donations is the main thing that we need to focus on. So that's how the income is going to come, to be able to, like, these will be the vehicles that will help us to create what we're creating, which is Black Mind, a community. And then most integral to the project is creating a team that can support us, obviously. And then we need all of your support, and we hope you can earn it through our work. So we hope that you guys just continue to watch what we're doing, even if you decide that you are not suitable to be a member of Black Mind. And through that, you guys just, if you're watching from the sideline, perhaps you can still support us through donations, through just speaking to your friends and expanding our network, expanding our presence. So projects, one of our sectors. So our projects hope to turn political insights into actionable goals. The Black community is always seeing issues that disproportionately affect them. And they see it all the time because it is our daily lives, is how we live. And we want to take those like insights that we always have that require political power to like make it be solved into actionable goals, pretty much. So long story short, we're trying to turn anything that we want that requires legislation, like, we're creating goals for it, and then we're just pursuing that. So yeah, and then Black Mind is a vehicle for necessary tasks which require a champion to spearhead them. So that champion just being maybe one of you that's watching, someone that is passionate, someone that is ready to, like, someone who has a clear vision of an issue that is affecting us and that requires political action, and then knows how to lead it so that goal can be accomplished. And then each Black Mind run project has a team of talented workers behind it. So that will be composed of a project leader, which will report directly to the chief project leader / officer, and then several other project organizers and project advocates. The project organizers as being the strategists behind the project, and the project advocates being people actually on the streets engaging with people and discussing these issues and like vocally advocating. And an example of that is this project, the SHSAT Prep Initiative. So to give context, New York City specialized high schools offer public students a chance to receive a highly rigorous and competitive education. These schools act as funnels in the colleges, and not only just colleges, high-level, high-ranking colleges. And as acceptance rates of Black and Brown students continue to drop into these into these specialized high schools, into these SHS entities, They do continue to drop, by the way. They do. Black Mind has created a tutor program, which will allow current Black specialized high school students to prep the next generation of Black scholars. And the reason why we're doing this is because we understand that universities like Cornell, Stanford, Yale, these high-ranking universities, and also just like SUNYs, like this is the SHSS is it is a place of mass opportunity for Black people, and it's just like it's frightening to see the attendance rates, the acceptance rates go down, because that means that our opportunities are going down. And as soon as our opportunities start going down, our lives are now, they aren't reaching their full potential now. Our community isn't reaching our full potential. We want to be well represented in the highest areas. So that's pretty much just the inspiration behind that project. And then moving forward, oh, sorry, there's a delay. Escape. Sorry, 1 second. A little glitch, you know, that is. Okay, moving forward. Our next project is the Utica Avenue subway expansion. Utica Avenue is a major avenue that runs through the south of Brooklyn, New York. And while it has some of the highest public transportation traffic in the borough, the neighborhood of like the Utica Avenue, like the neighborhood that encompasses Utica Avenue, has been ignored for plans of train expansion for over 100 years. And that's bad, because if the transportation is off, it's limiting. That's causing struggle for Black people to go to their jobs, to pursue different opportunities. Like this is like ingrained in the system that is disproportionately affecting Black people. Therefore, it is an example of systemic racism. And we are not exaggerating when we say for over 100 years this has been ignored, because when this Utica Avenue subway project was first proposed, it was in 1920. And the fact that it has been ignored for over a century, that is not a coincidence. That is not an accident. So by creating this expansion, it will definitely not only improve Black people's means in like this area to travel, but it will also push forward new economic opportunities and a myriad of other things that will improve Black lives. So that's why we care about it. And we seek to partner with local organizations, businesses, and politicians to ensure that the Utica Avenue subway will finally be a champion in the political sphere, because this is political. It requires certain politicians to make decisions that will eventually trickle down money that will lead us to creating this expansion. And efforts like these are why we frame ourselves as a political organization, because the fight for the advancement of black lives and for our rights is inherently political. Okay. And then last thing, I'll just go through this slide, and then Temple will take over. Research, everything we do is supported by research. So we're going to have a research team, and they'll gather history, literature, and statistics meant to back all of Black Mind's efforts towards improving Black lives. Because obviously everything that we do is rooted in like the correlations we see, the relationships we see, like, and just all of these statistics then materialize into the world. Like we need to have the facts to be able to do what we do. So that's their purpose, the research team. And yeah, Temple will take it from here.
Okay, thank you, Avery. Yeah, so next thing we'll talk about is our inclusivity policy at Black Mind. So we really want Black Mind to be an inclusive space for anybody to engage in our organization, as long as they're uh, have the mission of pushing forward the Black community and making sure that our community is self-determinated, and our community is supported by itself. So, however, since Black Mind seeks to combat issues that pertain particularly to Black people, we believe that it should be Black people who are spearheading these projects. And therefore, a lot of our leadership roles meant directly for the Black community will be led by Black people. Next slide. Okay, and this is just how to join. So we're always accepting new members. So if you go to our website, which is blackmindny.org, it'll be on the last slide. You'll see an open positions page on our website. So if you go to the link right here on the screen, you'll see all of the roles that we're currently looking for people to fill. I'll go to the next slide. Okay, so these are the priority positions that we're trying to fill right now. So there's a chief cultural officer, which is basically the person who oversees all of the content creation for Black Mind. So they reserve the right to approve, deny, or change any content before the public sees it. And right now we're looking for someone to fill that position. And this person has to really be making sure that we're making content that matches our ideology, like Avery said, content that inspires people to think about the issues facing our community and puts it in a format that they actually want to look at and see. So they should have a good understanding of what people like to watch, like what is popular at the time, so that we can find a way to incorporate that into our message. Because that way it's something that people are enjoying, but also they're learning from it. And then I would say one of the most important roles we need to fill are just project organizers. And this would be the role of anybody who's joining Black Minds for the first time. So they would be on a project and their role would be project organizer. So basically, you're responsible for going to weekly meetings based around your project that you're working on. And then from there, you come up with tactics and strategies to help organize around this project in particular. So for example, with the SHSAT prep, it would be either you recruiting tutors from specialized high schools or you recruiting students to join the program. So it'll be you coming up with ideas as to how we can actually get into these communities and making sure that we have a mark like in the community so that people know about the program and what's actually happening. So that's really the role of the project organizer. Just you have to be focused on understanding the way that politics works and the way that you can get basically attention from the media so that it can be a thing that people actually know about and talk about. And that way it's useful to people because it's known about, because information is key. And then the Utica Avenue subway project, we also need project organizers for that. So that would mostly consist of calling local business owners down the corridor of Utica Avenue. It would consist of making sure that people in the neighborhood know about it. So that means making flyers, right? If you're available to actually going in person to that neighborhood and talking to people and asking them what they think about the idea. And then from there, we can say, okay, we have a base of people, we have names, we know these people want this line, and we can go to politicians. And especially given the time period we're in right now, where the mayoral election is going on in New York City, we especially need people in this role because politicians are competing over who they're going to serve the best. And we need to make sure that Black communities are included in that negotiation. So that's really part of our main goal on the Utica Avenue subway project. So it's very political. That one's very political. And then also graphic designers, just to make sure our posts are consistent and we have an aesthetic that we can use online and then for our social presence. A videographer to make sure that we have good videos, we have editing, and we can do it in a timely fashion. So we need somebody who can stay with us for a while. But even if you want to come on for one project, we're willing to that too. So it's really just let us know what you guys are able to do. And then this is specific to the project of the SHSAT, but we need tutors. So these tutors would preferably be in the city just because it's easier to coordinate, but we can also have tutors from other places as well, and they would be online. So basically, you'd be tutoring middle schoolers basically on how to pass the SHSAT, which is a fairly simple exam for anybody who's either in high school or in college right now. But for the middle schoolers, it really requires them to just take that hour or two, like, like every week and put in the effort and the work. And they have to have somebody guide them through it. So we're looking for people who are passionate about education, people who want to be involved in the community, and this will count as, this will count as volunteer hours, internship, anything like that, considering that we're going to be registering as an official nonprofit. So I would say that if you're interested in having more of like an introductory role, a tutor role would be really good to see how things really work, and how these projects actually come together. Yeah. Okay, what's the next slide? Okay, yeah. So if anyone has any questions, we'll answer them. If not, that's most of it. Yeah, but we'll keep it open. So.
Yeah, we'll keep it open for questions. But just before everybody leaves, we wanted to acknowledge that we wanted to give a next step. So if you're interested in being a member, any of the priority positions interest you, or you even seen like some of the work that we did in like some of the work that could be accomplished in the sectors that we have, and you're interested, and how you could place yourself in that. We're going to have a meeting next Monday, this same time. And I'm assuming we're definitely going to release like the meeting link for that via our socials. So Monday, 4:30, put it in your calendar if you want to be a part of the movement. And yeah, and just keep up with our socials. We're gonna post this info session somewhere. Well, it's gonna be on YouTube, but we'll provide links. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully can, like, if you don't completely understand what we're doing, you're closer now to seeing. And yeah.
Yeah, and we also want to highlight that we really need people for the project. So if you're interested in a particular project, just reach out to us on the website. You can email us at you can go to the socials page so they can see, but you can email us like blackmindny@gmail.com and just tell us you're interested in a specific project, whether it be the Utica Avenue project or it be the
SHSAT.
SAT prep program. Yeah. So either program, let us know and we'll be able to get your position in so that you guys can get involved. Yeah. But yeah. Okay, we have one question. It said, moving forward, are there other sectors you think you would like to expand into? I would say we originally talked about a lot of sectors that we were interested in like tackling, just like things that we thought were really important and integral in the Black community. And we also mentioned talking possibly about healthcare, right? And finding ways to get resources to people, healthcare resources to people, so that they have information, right, about what's out there. And then what were the other ones that we had on there before, Avery?
Yeah, we had a lot. We had Black healthcare, like advocacy for like public safety. So reimagining like what policing looks like. Um, we yeah, healthcare, um, advocacy, education. Education was a big one. Transportation is one, but we've already expressed that. So education and transportation. But I think like the outliers that we haven't reached yet are probably like Black healthcare, like just advocacy for Black health. So we're talking about mental health and physical health both. And then also whatever I said before, but I just forgot. I'm sorry. But yeah. So the answer is yes. We do see ourselves expanding in the different sectors. There aren't really many rules for the projects that we do. Anything that will advance the Black lives, like whatever sector that falls in, like, and we can do it within our means, we are willing to tackle that.
Yeah, so I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that was very informative and like you're more clear on what we're trying to do now. And hopefully, you guys will be able to join us as we move forward as we actually get these projects done, because we think that some of these projects are really overdue. Like Avery said, the Utica Avenue project has been a thing for literally 100 years, which no one has yet championed as a thing that we have to have. And then also the SHSAT is a constantly ongoing problem where Black students and brown students are taking a decreasingly like a lower and lower amount of the portion of these schools every single year. So it's a problem which is actually getting worse, which we have to fight against if we want to make sure that we have representation in these schools, because they really are funnel schools to get into some of the top universities in the country. Yeah, and also to get a good education, right? To get the diverse and to get the just get the education you deserve. Honestly, that's what these schools are. That's what they are. So yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope that it was really informative.
All right. Thank you guys.